In this demonstration, I'm just going to show you how you can simply log into your SMSC grid. Now you need to open up a web browser, so in this case I'm using Google Chrome, but you could use Internet Explorer or Safari, it doesn't really matter. All you have to do is enter the web address for your school's grid, and each school has their own web address. So in this case it's just gridmaker.net/secondary SMSC, and this is probably the part that will change for your school, so it will be gridmaker.net/ and then your school name. So everyone using the grid accesses it at exactly the same web address, and when they do type in that web address they'll come down to this password form. Now we don't have individual user accounts to access the grid, instead we have levels of access, one for the administrator, then a level that teachers use, and then one for guests, and they all share the same password. So I'm going to log in with the administrator password, and then I just click Access Grid. We normally add your school's logo and a specific header at the top of the grid. And then below this you'll see a series of icons. Now because I've logged in as the administrator, you'll notice that I've got the full range of icons, and some of these are to do with customising the grid. For example, adding subjects or adding criteria or customising the groups. When we log in as a teacher in a moment, you'll see that we don't actually have these icons when we log in as a teacher. And then down here we have the grid, which of course you can scroll down to see the full set of values. Just in case you're not familiar with the grid, down the left hand side we have curriculum areas and areas where evidence may occur. Then in the black boxes across the top we have the different capabilities or the different values. In this case we're using an SMSC grid, so I have SMSC values. And then all of these cells that you see, these coloured cells, represent SMSC activities. While we're in as administrator, one of the options that you can use is to actually customise the different passwords. If I just open this up, you'll see that we have a guest password, a teacher password, an administrator password, and we even have a pupil password, or one that can be used on the interactive whiteboard. So what I'm going to do now, I won't change the passwords. Instead I'm just going to exit, which will take me back to the login screen, and then I'm going to enter the teacher password, and we should notice some of the differences in the user interface. So I've logged in as the teacher, exactly the same interface. We've got the grid here. You'll notice I can't change any of the subjects, and I don't even have an icon up here to add subjects or add criteria. Instead I have this main green icon here for adding a project or activity, and then the rest of the icons are for filtering the view or creating PDF reports. If I mouse down you'll see that it's exactly the same grid. I forgot to mention that we have this new feature here called Live Help. So if you or one of your teachers need any live assistance while they're using the grid, they simply pop this up, enter the question or query here, and then one of our support agents will type in immediately a response. The next interface that I'm going to show you is that which is used by a guest. So you might give this password to Ofsted or a parent or maybe a partner at another school. When they log into the grid, they have even fewer icons. They're not able to add any projects or activities, and they can't change any of the structure. But what they can do, they can view the grid, and they can also filter it or save it to a PDF. It's a limited access, if you like, it's read-only. So they're the basic levels of access to the grid. All you have to do is enter a single web address and then a single password, and that gets you into your SMSC grid.